Hello world, welcome back to Razor RC. Time to do a review of the Team Associated Reflex 14B. So this is a 1/14 scale electric four-wheel drive buggy. I guess it's kind of a race buggy, kind of a basher. You can do whatever you want. Comes as RTR, either like this or with a battery and charger for I think $40 more. This one sells for $179 and that's what I paid and picked up a few weeks ago. So I want to give you my thoughts, and I'm going to rate this buggy in a bunch of different categories as usual. Give it a rating from 1 to 5 stars in each category. 3 stars would kind of be average for this type of vehicle. 5 stars, excellent of course, and 1 star would be quite poor. So other vehicles in this class include the Losi Mini 8, the LC Racing EMB 1H, and also the WL Toys 144001, which is basically a clone of the LC Racing EMB 1H. I have one of those as well. And so yeah, I wanted to give you my thoughts. So first thing we're going to talk about is the build. So the build overall came pretty good out of the box. What I mean by that is how it came from the factory. No issues really running it. The only issue I had was one of these ball studs here on the back shock tower kind of backed out on the first run, but just screwed it back in. No other real issues. Shock seemed fine. No other screws backed out. So altogether, put together pretty well. I'm going to give it actually above average build score, 4 stars. One little issue, but other than that, seems like it was pretty well put together. So no concerns at all. Next up is the design, and overall I think that's one of the strong points of this particular vehicle. I mean, it's an RTR, so that kind of tells you that it's a basher, but altogether it's really got a full sort of race design and adjustments that you would expect from a larger scale like race kit, like a B64 or B74 or something like that. So it's got 3 full differentials sealed. You can tune them with different fluids. They have little O-rings on the outdrive, so no issues there. Actually has like CVAs up front, and looks like dog bones in the rear, so pretty good suspension overall. Adjustments for different shock locations on the tower, different springs you can buy, so nice little design overall. I moved the electronics around a little bit, so normally the ESC is up here on top, but you can actually move it down to the chassis and run a battery still, so kind of nice low profile type electronics package. So really good overall, bathtub style body, plastic shock towers that are, quite beefy, no issues there. Pretty durable overall. So yeah, the design on this thing is really, really nice. I mean, fully adjustable turnbuckles. Just overall quite impressed. It really is a mini scale type race vehicle. So, I'm quite impressed overall. Even the pinion adjustment, the mesh adjustment is pretty cool. It's got kind of like this motor plate that you can kind of turn and screw down in different locations. So yeah, overall I think the design of this buggy is really, really nice. It even has little different Ackerman locations. You can mount the steering links to give you different Ackerman rates. So yeah, full race kit in my opinion. You could definitely go out there and compete with this thing. If your local track has a 1/14 scale mini class, this is definitely one of the ones I would look at. I think the design of this thing is really, really good. I'm going to give it a full 5 stars. Lots of tunability. No real concerns. Overall, I think it's just excellent. Okay, next up, let's talk about the performance. And my particular kit is not completely stock. Out of the box, it looks like this, but the tires have a little more nubs on them. I am running a little bit different ESC. This is the Hobbywing 16BL30, but it's pretty much a clone of the SC300BL ESC that comes out of the box. Pretty much looks exactly the same to me. Just has different programming adjustments. So this one out of the box you cannot program, whereas the Hobbywing version you can, and it's quite inexpensive, $25. Yeah, so the ESC is normally up top with the battery down there on the side. And then I actually also did change out the radio. So that kind of points to the issues I had with the performance. I think the out-of-the-box radio here, the XP120, it's okay. It works, but it's not particularly precise. A little bit inconsistent in the driving. You'll notice, it's not really the best controller in terms of, you know, if you really want to run this on the track or something like that. If you want to bash with it, I think it's okay, but once you get into more of a controlled environment, trying to put down consistent laps, you'll notice that the XP120 is pretty lacking, and I think it's well worth changing out to a better receiver and radio. The other thing is the ESC, as I mentioned, is non-programmable. I put in the hobby wing, and that one actually you can adjust the punch. So out of the box, the Reedy version of the ESC here, the SC300BL, it feels like it has the punch turned down. I think stock out of the box, these ESCs are set to 5, and you can't really change that on the Reedy. But if you get the hobby wing version, you can actually crank that up to 9, gets you a little more instant power delivery. That's something you'll notice. The power delivery is kind of soft initially out of the bat. So performance, stock tires are really quite poor. I was running this on my local indoor clay track. They're probably the worst tires I ever ran on that track, completely undrivable. It's like running on ice. Sanding them down, sauced them up a bunch, and then they became actually okay, you know. So if you're gonna run on indoor clay track, I would definitely recommend sanding down the nubs off that thing, sauce them, get it a little bit softer, and then they'll actually perform okay. Not awesome, but you know, reasonable. So sort of at a reasonable level. So overall, I think the performance is below average a little bit. I think the stock tires really let it down. Electronics are not great, but you know, not horrible. The servo is actually pretty fast. It goes, I think, 0.11 seconds per 60 degrees of travel, so it's actually pretty fast. One of the fastest stock servos you'll find, but it is plastic geared and does have this servo saver that, you know, eventually want to eliminate and put in a better servo, just like a metal geared version, so you can actually run this thing, race it, and not have it break. So performance wise, I'm actually going to give it below average score. I'm going to give it 2 stars. However, I think if you address those things, get better tires, better radio, and better ESC, actually it performs really, really well. Pretty nice little buggy, and overall I think it's probably above average now, but out of the box it is lacking a bit. 2 stars. All right, so this buggy has proved to be pretty durable, even doing some big jumps like triples and stuff, smashing into the face of jumps and stuff. Nothing really has broken. The only issue I have is that these shock caps actually tend to kind of push in on the ball studs that they're mounted on, kind of get jammed up against it. They don't actually break, but they do actually get jammed and don't really like turn all that well, and then you gotta like pop them back off, you know, after your run. So that is really the only weakness I've had in terms of durability, but they didn't actually break, just kind of get jammed and force you to kind of fix it, you know, after every run or so. So overall, I think the durability is really good. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. If that thing didn't get jammed up every single time you like smashed into something, I would give it 5 stars. Seems like a really nice durable buggy, plastic chassis. Nothing really will bend on this thing because it is all plastic. So overall, a very durable buggy, and certainly something I would let anybody drive, you know, my kid or whatever. It is quite durable. So one of the nice things about this buggy is that it is made by Team Associated, which means that it is easy to get parts, at least here in the United States. You can go to your local hobby shop. If they don't stock parts, they can certainly order it for you. You can order parts online really easily. You can go to the Team Associated website. Maintenance-wise, it's also pretty easy to work on. The diffs come out pretty easily. Just a few screws, you're gonna pop things off. The center diff out of the box is a little bit annoying because normally the ESC is on top of this little plate right here, and it's covering these 2 little screws that you need to get. You can get the center diff out just by removing the color and kind of bending back this center drive shaft cover, but a little bit nicer if it would have been a little bit nicer if they didn't have the ESC mount on top, or at least had the screws more easily accessible. So maintenance is pretty good, not perfect, but overall, because it is easy to get parts as opposed to something like an LC racing vehicle or a WL Toys type vehicle, I'm going to give this some more maintenance, 5 stars. Team Associated is pretty easy to work with, certainly easy to get parts. The vehicle is pretty easy to work on. So overall, I think this is certainly best in class. I'm actually going to give it 5 stars. Okay, last category is value. And this vehicle retails for $179. If you get the full RTR with battery and charger, it's I think $219 or $215, something like that. Not cheap, not expensive. If you've seen other videos on the WL Toys 144001, that is sell for under $90. Pretty similar scale, comes with a battery. Similar performance. I actually drove this back to back with that vehicle, and I'll probably do a little bit of a comparison review, but that is like half the price of this thing. Now something like a Losi Mini 8, depending on which version you're going to buy, it's generally $200 or more, depending also whether it's on sale. So that is a little bit more expensive this. So I kind of think this is sort of middle of the road in terms of value. 3 stars. It does have the 3 differentials, although they are all plastic gears, and etc. It does have the metal drive shaft, does have the metal center shaft, but the rest of the vehicle is pretty much all plastic. So I think in the value category, 3 stars, kind of average. There's cheaper and probably more better value type vehicles out there, and then there are also more expensive type vehicles out there. This is kind of middle of the road, 3 stars. So my conclusion on the Team Associated 14B is I think it's a really good platform out of the box. They designed it to be like truly race capable type vehicle. Lots of adjustments. You could run this on carpet, you can run this on dirt, you can run this on the street, you could bash with it, whatever. I mean, they even have like little different inserts for the hubs, little different inserts for the B and C blocks to adjust anti-squat, kick up, etc. So a lot of racing type adjustments, a lot of tunability out of the box. You can basically get this to work really well at your local track. It's kind of let down by the RTR electronics, especially the radio. I think that's the first thing I would change if you want to upgrade anything. Definitely upgrade the radio first, and then the ESC. And then if you find, if you're on high traction surface, I think upgrading the servo to a metal geared servo and getting rid of this servo saver, just going with like a fixed servo horn would work really well. So I think it's a good vehicle that anybody could just kind of bash. It runs fine out of the box, and if you want to get serious and turn it into a race vehicle, I mean, it definitely has the capabilities. It definitely allows you to work your way up to making this just a really fast, really fun, good handling vehicle, and certainly a race caliber. And it holds up to the Team Associated name. Some of the other RTR stuff from Team Associated, it's kind of meh, they're not really Team Associated type vehicles, but this one really, it seems like it was designed by true race engineers, and I really like this a lot. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I'll probably do a comparison with the WL Toys 144001, but overall, excellent vehicle. If you want to have something fun and small and, pretty cool to kind of bust around in the backyard or on the street, I think it's fine. And then if you want to get serious and you really want to race like mini vehicles, this is definitely one of the ones I think I would consider, especially because it is easier to get parts than some of the other products out there. It's not all metal, but it certainly is extra durable as a result. And yeah, I like it a lot. So highly recommended. Very good vehicle. I do like the Team Associated 14B. I even like the body. It's kind of got this cool military looking colors and stuff. So yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the add notifications button, share with your friends. Look for more videos soon, and thanks for watching.